Okay, so now, can you see yourself?
Yes.
Do you want to? You don't have to.
No, that's fine.
Sometimes it makes it easier because
Yeah.
then you can, like, yeah. Ready? All right, go for it. It's all yours. I'll be over there.
Just wing it. just
No,
start
read
reading.
that, and then
Okay.
I'll listen, and then I'll come over and talk.
Okay. Okay. Proverbs 29:15. This proverb says, "A child left to himself brings shame to his mother." It speaks to the importance of guidance and discipline to avoid shame and implicity to the responsibility of both parents in raising their children. Those words cut deep for every parent who has fought to protect their children inside a system that too often leaves them behind. My name is Victoria. I'm a team lead in New York State. I am a mother of two beautiful boys, 18 and 13. They are my world, they are my reason, and for every breath that I take. They're the foundation of my life. I became a mother at 24 and then again at 29. For the last 13 years, I've also served my community as an LPN, licensed practical nurse, for 15 years. I am deeply committed to care, compassion, and integrity, both as a nurse and as a mother. From the very beginning, I was sole primary and decision-making when I left my ex. I stayed home with my oldest, when he was little, and returned to work shortly after my youngest was born. I always made their activities and their appointments in education my top priority. I was the one who brought them to every doctor's appointment, every school appearance. Their father worked evening shift and saw them only sporadically at his convenience when it was necessary for him every other weekend. I sought help with family court as things became more aggressive in our relationship. Sorry. It was the most painful decision of my life to leave him. I lived in fear and uncertainty whether our children would be safe in his care. While we were together, he became aggressive, emotionally and mentally abusive, drinking nightly. In our relationship, he had 2 DWIs. Family court gave me an order of protection when he threatened to smash my head into a wall. I continued to serve as primary for the welfare of my children. During those years, I witnessed Michael's pattern of neglect. He refused counseling for our children, even during traumatic times. He blocked my son's ADHD diagnosis and need for medications, IEP 504. He refused extracurricular activities and diverted them to appointments on his time. Simple, basic things that any parent should do. Despite this, I fostered normalcy for the boys, even inviting him to dinners and outings for their sake, not mine. But time and time again, alcohol, aggression, and control destroyed any chance of cooperative parenting. I survived physical abuse, including being choked by him in January of 2014, when he enlisted my oldest, then a child, to log into my phone to fuel accusations. That night ended in violence, my phone confiscated, and my attempt to seek help blocked. I filed police charges, but family court still entrusted him with access. Later, after I agreed to reduce felony charges to a misdemeanor, so he would not lose his integrity, his job, his license, and his ability to be a father. He repaid me by sexually assaulting me in my home, leaving me on the floor in tears and shame. My attorney advised me to remain silent, warning that reporting rape would be seen as retaliation in family court. Even with the history we already had, family court failed me and my children. In 2019, under pressure from my own attorney and the child guardian, I was coerced into agreeing to 50-50 because that's what's best for the children. On the grounds that both parents should be equally involved, which is what I fought for from the beginning. I objected as I knew the risks, but was told I would lose entirely if I did not comply. That was the beginning of the unraveling, the so-called shared parenting framework that gave their father new leverage against me. Over the next 5 years, he manipulated the system, coached my children about the courts, and bribed them with expensive cruises and trips designed not to as family bonding, but as a tool to alienate them from me. It is illegal and unethical to coach a minor about court proceedings or to continue conditions that their loyalty with materialistic gifts from family court to look the other way. In 2024, my judge, Susan Kushner, transferred primary custody of my oldest to their father at the age of 17. Despite no evidence of wrongdoing, no evidence of neglect, no proof that I had ever failed my child, she ignored the violations over and over again against him, despite my petitions. It became a moot point when he turned 18, and they elevated the manipulative narrative. She later even boasted at her retirement, at my last appearance with her, that she was proud of her decisions that she made, showing no remorse for the destruction they caused. And our new judge continues this pattern, immediately dismissing violation petitions, including those concerning my youngest, still a minor, simply because my oldest name appeared on the same paperwork. In the sense of showing patterns, this was not acceptable. This is judicial bias, plain and simple. At every step, I was forced, threatened, and coerced into decisions against my children's best interest. Attorneys pressured me to accept 50-50 custody and lose completely. Judges dismissed my petitions without review, while advancing my ex. The attorney of the child and court-appointed counselors held meetings on Michael's terms, excluding me. My voice silenced, my evidence ignored, and my rights eroded under the weight of bias and conclusion. Now I am buried with child support obligations, for a son who was manipulated against me and unlawfully stripped away. My ex levered those coerced custody changes, originally presented as shared parenting, to later argue I should pay him. I am left in bankruptcy, alienated from my child, who at this point in time doesn't communicate with me, and punished for being a stable parent. I am not perfect, but I am a devoted mother in every way, in every sense of the word. I've never abandoned my children. I've never harmed them. I've never failed to provide. What has happened is not a natural course of custody or the best interest of any child. It is a result of judicial bias, attorney neglect, negligence, coercion, and systemic abuse of power. Family court took a mother who had always been sole primary and guardian, and over time stripped her of her rights, her financial security, and her bond with her children, her son, without evidence, without fairness, and without justice. Silenced, my rights eroded, and now I am buried in a situation where I can lose everything. This is clearly for financial gain. There is no justifiable reason to change custody from 50-50 of a 17-year-old to primary custody if it wasn't financial gain. But not only my child's father, but also the judicial system in every way sense of the word. They were not making money off of us when we were 50-50. In New York State, they make $7 off of every single child support payment made every single month, and they have over 15,000 cases. My story is not unique. It is the story of thousands of families across New York, across the country. Parents are coerced, children are silent, and justice is denied every day in family courts. The Family Justice and Accountability Act was written for families like mine to end judicial immunity for misconduct, to enforce accountability, to protect children's rights, and to stop the weaponization of custody and support. Again, I am not perfect, but I am devoted. In family court, stripped my rights, my bond, and my financial stability without evidence, without fairness, without justice. This bill is our path to ensure that no mother, father, or child is ever punished for protecting their family ever again. I stand for the bill because my story proves why it is desperately needed.
Okay, so why are you, well, what state were you from?
New York.
What part of New York?
The capital, Albany County.
So Albany County?
Yep.
And then, state, what county? And then, you're doing this for your kiddos.
Yep.
And then, I guess we got it. How do you see this ending?
I'm sorry?
How do you see this ending? Like in your situation?
I'm hoping for accountability and to be able to regain my relationship with my oldest. I know I can't take back everything that has already been done, but I don't want this to continue to happen with my youngest, who is now 13, and this is at this age when it started with my oldest. So I'm just trying to protect him, and I'm hoping that we can get away from this manipulation and the judicial discretion where they can make any decision that they want, whether it's right or wrong.
How many kids do you have?
2 boys,
And how old are they?
18 and 13.
So one age out.
Yep.
Out.
He just aged out in July.
And then there's not much of a relationship?
Nope, he has not been communicating with me since, really.
Since when?
He turned 18 in July of this year, and I try to communicate with him via text. He doesn't answer his phone. He came over for a birthday party that I planned for him before he turned 18, but it was very short-lived. He wasn't very interactive. And then when I filed a petition in regards to the support order claiming, requesting for constructive emancipation because he's not having a relationship with me, he all of a sudden wanted to come over for dinner on his terms. But again, he came over. It was very short-lived. He was on his phone most of the time, and he hasn't really talked to me since.
So you attribute, like, basically, I know we're not saying parental alienation anymore.
Right.
But what would you, systemic erasure? Like you were systematically erased from your
Correct.
Your children's lives.
Oh, absolutely. It was all a step process. It started with, of course, it started with me getting married. That's where all of this started. But
how old were you when you got married?
It was after I left my ex. So I think I was 30, God, how many years has it been? 36 when I got married. And then he came after me for 50-50, which was signed, sealed, and delivered a day before we got married.
Your ex came after you?
Yes, yeah, my ex came after me for the kids. And he got 50-50, and then a couple years later he started the manipulation with my oldest against me, whatever you want to call that.
So do both kids have the same dad?
Yes. Yeah.
And both kids, same dad. And there's another person, like another man in the situation?
My husband, yeah.
So there's jealousy there, probably?
I believe so.
So
Yeah.
do you think some of this was done just to, like, was it a matter of, like, somebody knew that they could use the court, so they did?
Yeah. I believe his girlfriend also came into play in this scenario, pushing him in this direction. He also came into money, and I feel like that he had a huge financial gain in regards to, you know, the direction that he can go with family court, and he also used his finances, you know, to buy their love, so to speak. He started bringing them on so many vacations a year, which he never did before. He bought my oldest a car when he turned 16 that wasn't allowed at my house, so he could drive anywhere on God's green earth, but he couldn't except my house. And still, even after he turned 18, he still can't drive to my house. It's a house rule.
I'm a survivor, so when I ask this question, just know that. What'd you do to piss him off? I'm glad you laughed.
Right? I stood my ground. He was physically abusive towards me, and I had him arrested. And he didn't like that. You know, but then, you know, me being young, stupid, and naive, and, you know, in love with the father of my children at the time, I gave him a break, I guess you would say, and I dropped his felony, that would put him in jail for 5 years, down to a misdemeanor. And I will tell you, at this point in time in my life, with everything that he's put me through in the last few years, I'm like, if I've never regretted anything in my life, I regret not doing that. Like, if this is the thanks I get in return for letting you keep your life, your license, your children, and not throwing you in jail, for you to later on take the thing that I let you have away from me, I'm like, wow. And I don't want to be that person, but I never saw in my life this day that I would be completely disregarded in the life of my children.
So you feel like an abuser, we have to summarize.
Yeah.
An abuser has utilized the court systems.
Absolutely.
To further abuse you.
Correct.
Let me guess.
Using my children.
Yeah. Let me guess.
My love, my life, to abuse me.
That's
the only power he has.
Yeah. Has he accused you of litigation abuse?
So, yes, recently, actually.
Demanded you pay his attorney's fees?
They're getting to that point because when he got primary, I went immediately to the appellate court, and that was when he was 17, which they purposely dragged out until he was 18, and then they requested mutinous, which was granted. And so
what was granted?
Mutinous.
What's that?
So when he turns 18, it no longer matters. Family court doesn't matter, and it's a moot point. So I can no longer argue getting primary back when he's 18. So they purposely dragged it out the year until he was 18. And then, so now when that was agreed upon just recently, I believe it was August, that was decided immediately without review of any evidence. I requested a motion to leave the appellate court, and his attorney backlashed and is requesting sanctions against me and my attorney for requesting to leave. Because I'm looking to bring it to the next level. Like, you're not going to review my case. It doesn't matter that he's 18. Every process that's got us here was completely illegal. It wasn't justifiable. It was, even in my appeal, my attorney said there was clear judicial bias in the decision that was made. I had no testimony. My evidence was precluded. It was a one-sided, they listened to his story, and then I couldn't provide anything on my side. So you made a decision based on just his story and not mine. And that's clear judicial bias.
Yeah.
What got my, you're not looking at the evidence of what got my son to the point of being like, I want to live at dad's house instead of yours. they ignored, I guess, simply everything. So right now we're dealing with trying to leave one court to go to the other to actually be heard, hopefully, if we get granted, but also dealing with the threats of being sanctioned because we're doing that. I'm like, it's my right, my constitutional right to request to go to the next court as a parent and as a citizen, not only in New York but the United States. Like, this is the due process. You can't sanction me for following due process. Yeah. So,
do you mind me asking what you do for a living?
I'm an LPN. I'm a nurse.
You're a nurse.
Yeah, for 15 years.
Nurses, teachers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I look for the patterns. Let's see what else. If you could say anything to your boys and know that they'll see it, what do you want to say to them?
That's a good question. Everything.
That will be cut out.
Yeah. Yeah.
The coffee percolating in the back, or maybe we'll leave it and that'll be like your...
Gosh, I wouldn't even know where to start. That I have, gosh, brain fart. Sorry.
Yeah, what are their names?
I'm sorry?
What are their names?
Andrew and Liam.
Okay, Andrew and Liam.
Yeah.
This is your mama. She clearly loves you very much. She's come all the way to DC to advocate for her rights. And someday you gentlemen may be fathers, maybe husbands, you may have daughters. And this is what your mama did to show you how much she wanted to be your mom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I'm here fighting for you. I've never given up. Ugly cry.
You looking forward to grandbabies?
Yeah, someday.
Yeah. That's what I do.
Too young right now.
Yeah, not now. Someday. Well, for a lot of folks who've had parts of their children's childhood stolen, I say, I know it's not a guarantee, but there's always their, grandchildren, and that's what we're fighting for.
Yeah.
Is
the next generation.
The next generation.
And that's the other thing. I'm like, why are we putting our children through this? Like, they don't deserve this in any way, shape, or form. Domestic violence doesn't come just physically, it's mentally, it's emotionally. And you're starving them of the innocent, fun childhood that they should have had because you want control over me. Yeah. This isn't about me.
Yeah.
And to drag them in the middle of resent and hate and, starvation to feel like you need payback is only hurting them in the end.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm here, because I'm continuously never giving up and trying to protect them, and again, future generations and other families that are going through this.
Are there other families in New York? Like, is there a group?
I don't have an official group. There are a bunch of groups. I know a few people personally that are going through similar situations. They start a new relationship and then the parent just comes after them and attacks, and it's like, why? And using the kids against them, and the kids don't want to be with you, and what kid doesn't want to be with both parents? Yeah. Unless, if there's legit abuse or whatever, absolutely. But to take children away from innocent parents who have no evidence of wrongdoing is just, it's cruel.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother evil and devilish source that is dividing this country.
Yeah.
On so many levels.
Yeah. I've got family up in northern PA, and so I might take a trip up there. And if you guys can get some, how far is Jamestown from Albany?
40 minutes from me.
Oh, is it? That's that close? Okay. Yeah. If you could get a group together, I'd come out to Jamestown to film. So,
cool.
Yeah, because my family is right there. They're on the Pennsylvania border.
Oh,
so,
cool. Okay. Yeah, that's not far from me.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Okay, because I'm going to go up to Boston too, so I can, on the way.
Mosey up, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.